What is a perfect height on a guy?
6'3" is really, really hot.
6'4". At least 6 foot.
6'5".
Actually 6 foot.
Definitely 6'2".
6'3" is good.
6'2", 6'3".
At least 6 foot. 6 foot. 6'1".
He's a 7, but he's rich. What's his new rating?
A 10.
10.
Why a 10?
It's self-explanatory. Well, he can buy me stuff, pay rent, pay bills.
At least 6 figures. 100K a year?
Your man comes home and he's hungry. Would you wake up and make him a meal?
No.
What were some of the things you were told about men while growing up?
Don't trust them. Yeah, I agree with that one.
It makes me so happy that so many women are waking up and they are rejecting men.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic.
These are some ways that you can hurt a man's ego.
Apparently there are women that will send a link to a guy for a very expensive purse, like a $5,000 purse, for him to buy her as a gift before agreeing to go on a date with them.
We are living through a chopped man epidemic.
It's always the ugliest men.
If you're dating a medium ugly man, please make him buy you something.
I want to talk about the medium ugly guy epidemic.
6'4" really is the perfect height for a man. And I know that's controversial to say because most men don't make it over 6 foot, but it still don't change the fact that that's the perfect height.
Okay guys, so let's ask ChatGPT roughly about how many men in the USA are 6'4" or higher. ChatGPT showed me a bunch of equations and he came to the result that about 0.1% of men exceed 76 inches. That is 6'4" or taller. This is why I tell you guys, I don't care about women's standards. They can have whatever standards they want. I'm just showing you how delusional they are.
Let's pull up the photo that we have of Molly here.
Yeah, that's me.
Let's just rewind, guys. I can bet her parents are so proud, so proud.
If a guy sees that photo, that's going to be like a wrap for 97% of dudes.
You can have some manners.
Like I said, excuse you.
How tall do you think I am?
You sound like 6 foot.
No, I'm like 5'8".
All right, well.
80% of men are deemed unattractive by women online, on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, seeking arrangements, whatever the
top 10% of men on Tinder are getting 63% of the right swipes, and I believe the top 20% were getting it's like something like a 78 or 80% of the right swipe.
I feel like every girl says they want a guy that's in touch with their emotions until you get one. And then it's like, well, now we're both crying and the car still isn't parallel parked. It's like, I don't need you to navigate your emotions. I need you to navigate how to park this fucking car.
They're all lying. They want a guy that is in control of his emotions, not that shows how emotional he is.
American men are flying to other countries to find wives, and a lot of women are enraged. But
Yes.
have you asked them why? Because a lot of foreign women are still very traditional. They still believe in supporting their men, cooking, being grateful, and putting family first. Meanwhile, American women and a lot of Latin American women think that asking them to be pleasant is somehow oppression.
And when was the last time you did something nice for your girlfriend or wife and she was actually grateful for it? Now that she said thank you, that she showed you she was grateful for it. Just think about it.
Can you blame people for going where they're being appreciated?
Men used to go to war and now they won't even give the seat on the train. Tell me why, on the basis of the fact that you're a woman, do you need the seat more than a man without using dating preferences, gender stereotypes, or gender roles? I'm waiting, because
They can't. They can't, ma'am. They just want equality when it serves them. They don't want equality in general.
if I remember correctly, chivalry to women men don't know was a very patriarchal construct built on the fact that women and men weren't equal.
If you're somebody who talks like this naturally, and you think this is like a normal way of speaking, you don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, the bird hands.
Please stay away from me. Stay back.
Is there anything that women are better than men at that you can think of?
Everything, literally.
Okay, give me another example. What?
Women are better at cooking.
Actually, the best chefs are men.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Raising kids.
Actually, that is not true. They found that single fathers do better than single mothers.
True.
Women are more.
More what?
I think more than men.
More emotional.
Yes.
All the best philosophers were men.
Honestly, it doesn't matter about the history. I just think women are better.
For all the men, I get a lot of comments that say that they haven't dated or they haven't been in a relationship for years and they've given up trying. Listen, if you've given up trying, you will never find a partner. You will never find that person. So if you're looking for someone, think to yourself, what do I need to do on a daily basis to get closer to the person that my future partner would appreciate and want? And then work on that.
Yes, but many men are going MGTOW. Going their own way, they don't care about women. They don't care about having a relationship. And I understand them. Some women are not worth it.
And become that person, and then at some point, if you don't give up, I promise you, you will find the right person.
Why is it that dads are always allowed to be like, I'm going through things, or I'm struggling right now, so I can't help as much, and I can't do this and this, but a mom always has to figure it out?
Because there's something about losers and bums that makes y'all want to reproduce with them, and therefore that's what you get. Y'all reproduce with losers and bums. Y'all don't know how to pick the correct men to reproduce with, which is why y'all all feel like you're stuck in this situation.
Oh, but he was toxic. Yeah, man, but you chose him. And then, after you chose him, you chose to have a kid with him. Just think how crazy it is, guys. A kid is the best gift, is the ultimate gift that a woman can give you. It's her highest honor to make you a kid. And they give that to a bum, to a toxic guy, to whatever, to Chad. And then they expect you to take care of that kid, to step up to the plate, to be a man. Just think how crazy that is.
One of my favorite things about living in Australia, aside from the amazing work-life balance, is the fact that like men don't approach you here. Like I could just be eating by myself at a bar by myself and men literally just do not approach me. It's amazing.
Maybe they don't approach you because of another reason, ma'am. Not the reason that you think.
In my 30 years of life, not one time has a woman approached me. And I realized why. Because they're intimidated.
Boom.
I'm so attractive and so high value, they got cold feet and could not for the life of them figure out a way to approach me.
That's how many women think. That's how they actually think.
And by golly, I don't blame them. Because sometimes I look in the mirror and I see myself, I'm so high status, I'm afraid to approach myself at night with lotion and tissues.
Wow.
I might even reject myself. So I sympathize with them. And you know what? Every night I go home and I reject myself. So guys, if you're out there listening to this, just know that if women don't approach you, it's simply because you are too attractive.
When men make money, their pool gets bigger. When women make money, your pool gets smaller. You know, a man that's like very wealthy, has their own business. I've asked them, like, there'd be like a pretty waiter that comes to the table. I'm like, would you date her? Like, and they're like, yeah, I would date the waiter. It's a natural thing for a man to take care and provide. I also want someone that's has these goals and are taking care of themselves and can teach me something because I'm focusing on, you know, business and success and financials, which is a masculine quality.
And they find Chad, that is a millionaire, and Chad only sleeps with them, and then ghosts them, and they wonder, why didn't he want a relationship with me? Because I'm a strong, independent boss bee that makes a lot of money and has my own house. Why didn't he want to stay with me? Because you don't have any feminine qualities. Because you're not submissive. Because you're very masculine. Because you're very argumentative. Guys don't want to be with women like you, no matter how much money you have. But if I say that, it's because I'm a misogynist, of course.
And so then you start to get smaller and smaller pools. And then there's also not as many men that feel comfortable dating a woman that's very successful, because then it brings up an insecurity within themselves that they...
No, ma'am, it's not about because of insecurities. It's because you're very argumentative. It's because you're very masculine. It's because you're very competitive. It's because you think you know better. We don't want to compete with you. We want a submissive wife. You're not submissive because if you're successful in your business, you develop certain masculine traits.
You don't need them to provide.
Women 18 to 34 have political opinions that are way off center compared to everyone else. Plus, they're dreadfully miserable. Well, they get 80% of their news from TikTok, and TikTok is a bought farm fundamentally.
Yeah.
And the algorithms are designed to produce exactly the kind of upsetting pathology that characterizes female voters between the ages of 18 to 34.
Well, I mean, this is why woke is so female coded. Everybody kind of wonders, what in the world is critical race theory? Why is it so female coded? It's because every bit of what we call woke on the left passed through feminism to mainstream. So it was all built off of pathological women trying to...
It seems so stupid to me, guys, when I get a lot of comments from guys on the left saying that I should stop being political. They just want to see videos about women and what's happening with women and feminism. They don't even realize that voting for the left is voting for feminism. They don't even realize that because of the left, you have women that have so high standards. You have women that are so delusional. It's because of the left. That's why women act this way. It's because of you. I don't want to be political, but feminism happened because of the left.
figure out how to pathologize young women to join their club.
Ooh, let's talk about 4B. But first, 80% of men are not narcissists. You might be confusing that with the statistic that between 50 to 75% of people diagnosed with NPD are men, in the same way that 75% of people diagnosed with BPD are women. But that does not mean that, 80% would be like you go about your everyday life and 8 out of 10 men that you encounter are narcissists.
Yeah, but they never stop to actually research if a study they heard is correct. They just hear something on social media and they repeat it in every video.
I promise that's not what's happening. As for 4B, it is like the mirror image to men going their own way, right? MGTOW or Red Pill. And what I find interesting about this is that I think it's right. I totally understand why men are opting out and women are opting out, because historically, our relationships have been transactional.
True.
The relationship between men
True.
and women has always come from a place of scarcity and need, because
And because of feminism, women don't need men anymore. So why would I be in a relationship with a woman that tells me to my face she doesn't need me? Why do I want to be in a relationship with a woman like that? I want a woman to need me.
Historically, we have not been able to provide everything we needed for ourselves. Men couldn't do it and women couldn't do it. So men looking to women for emotional labor, for zigs, for things of that nature. Women looking to men for financial stability, right? And it was a trade.
I'm being dead serious. I'm not even trying to be an asshole at all right now by saying this. I personally have never come across a drop-dead gorgeous man, like someone who you're just like, oh, damn, he is fine, that doesn't open their mouth and talk and immediately I get the ick.
Okay, ma'am, and why do you think that is? It's because he relied just on his looks. He didn't have to develop a personality. It's exactly the same with women. The hotter they are, usually, the less of a personality they have. Why? Because they rely their entire life on looks, just looks alone. They didn't have to develop any personality at all.
They're either just like not well spoken, they're straight up fucking dumb, or arrogant. Every gorgeous guy
Why do they need to educate themselves? Why do they need to learn new things? When they rely just on their looks, it's the same with women and it's the same with guys.
I've met has had a really shitty personality. I really wish I could find a gorgeous, fine man who was so emotionally intelligent, who was well spoken, who had a good personality.
I'm sure they're out there, man. Not every guy that is very good looking doesn't have a personality. But I can tell you something for sure. They're not looking for a woman that makes TikTok videos. They're not on TikTok, ma'am. So keep making TikTok videos, and I will make another video on you in about 10 years because you will be still single, ma'am.
Personality who wasn't so full of himself. Where are the gorgeous men at that have a fucking brain?
Not on TikTok. And the fact that you don't realize that they're not on TikTok and they're not watching your video just shows me that you also don't have a brain.
So as you may remember, I came out as bisexual last year. And since then, I have been dating women. And what I've found very fascinating is that the more I date women, the more I find myself understanding heterosexual men. Let me explain. Exhibit A. I was on a first date with a girl, who asked me out, by the way, this is relevant, because when the check came, she never once made a move to pay. Not even like the fake, let me reach for my purse move. And though I don't mind paying on a date, part of me felt like, the offer would have been nice. I was also a little taken aback that she didn't even say thank you. And I never heard from her again.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing that happens to lots and lots of men. And men are fed up with being used by women just to get a free lunch or dinner. That's why many men don't want to go on a first date at a restaurant, especially at an expensive restaurant.
Really made me feel like she just asked me out so she could have a free dinner. And the moment I thought that, I was like, oh my God, I sound like all of my guy friends right now.
No one wanted to date me because they didn't want to be with a woman that sexual expression part was not for them. It was like shared with the world. So like guys, when I would try to date, when I was dating or who I was engaged at the time, that didn't work out because I was sharing a part of myself that men wanted to be saved for them only. And the fact that I would, pose nude or dance in very little clothes or show my body was making them feel like I was taking something away that was meant to be for them.
Who would have thought that showing yourself naked on the internet would have repercussions? Because women always think they can do whatever they want without any repercussions. Well, even her, a celebrity, as you can see, she found out that there are certain repercussions.
So I would have really hard times dating. And it was really hard. It was really hard for me to go home and see my dad and like look him in the eyes and not feel super embarrassed. Same thing. My grandmother was like my grandmother is my best friend. She's dead, but she's still my best friend. And I was like, oh God, this is going to kill her.
I've been living in Dubai for the last 13 years, meet a lot of Western men. Over this last decade, I've seen more and more American men here in Dubai with foreign wives. Women from Indonesia, from the Philippines, from Thailand, from Russia, from Ukraine. And I'm talking about your educated men, your school teachers, your engineers, your software technicians, all of those professions where you get a good, solid, middle class, upper middle class man. And everyone have said the same thing. When I asked them this question, why did you choose this wife? 99.9% of them have said, I just cannot take Western women anymore.
Yeah.
They just want women that are agreeable, who are fit, they're friendly, they're not overweight. And I'm not just talking about black men, middle class white guys as well, So you modern women in America, you guys got to be aware that there's an incredible competition for your men. I'm just saying.
They don't care. They don't care. They would rather be alone with their cats. But they don't understand that from 35 or 40, it's a long way till 90. It's a very long time to be alone. They will change their mind when they're in their 50s or 60s, but by then it will be too late.
They call her the cat lady. People say she's crazy just because she has a few dozen cats.
Women are technically adding less value in society, so they deserve less out of it. That's very generalized.
How they define value is like, we build the infrastructure, we build the roads, we build this and that and the other. And it's just like, but that's not society. Society is also who teaches children how to eat, who teaches children what time to go to bed, who teaches children what.
Yes, ma'am. And in this society, most women are feminists and are indoctrinating children. They're not teaching them anything good. They're not. That's the problem. The fact that she doesn't see this as a problem is a very, very big red flag.
Like they don't look at life through the lens of a child, and that's not the person who you should listen to advice from. Listen to the person who understands what children need from a mother and what children need from a father. Don't teach men to be emotionally distant. Teach them to love women, not to just give them less. That doesn't.
Yeah, we're just going to skip this video because it's clear she doesn't know what she's talking about at all.
Sarah, for the audience members that aren't familiar with the phrase MGTOW, what does it mean and why is it happening?
It is a abbreviation for men going their own way.
Yep.
And basically why it's happened, from what I can understand, is really more of a societal issue with custody battles, with men who have lost everything and a divorce, with men.
All the laws in the West are against men. When they want to marry, when they want to get a divorce, it's always against men.
And who have been ostracized from their families, with men who are pretty much done with women, potentially have contentiously been done, or they just have decided that they would rather be alone in their peace, in their cabin, with their shining their weapons, and they're happy with their life. And that's what.
And the cabin doesn't have to have a king-size bed, and the bed doesn't have to have 10 pillows, 10 different colors on it, and all kinds of paintings on the walls and all kinds of shit. We don't need that.
That's why it's happening, is because they feel that society has really turned on them, so they don't really want to have anything to do with society.
I'm gonna tell you guys super straight up, the only freaking reason why it's like hard to find love now and why it's hard to date and this and that and whatever, this is the only reason. People can like list all these freaking reasons as to why it's happening and this and that, and men and women, masculine and feminine and blah blah blah. Legit, the only reason why is because women have freedom now. Women have autonomy. Women are able to take care of themselves. They don't need a man.
Girl, have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, your husband is 5'7"? Because this whole thing, like, oh, a dude needs to be over 6 feet and he's got to make over 6 figures and da-da-da-da-da. Do you understand the statistic of that? Like, do you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the statistic is of that, but it's not a lot of men are over 6 feet and make over 6 figures. Like, your husband might be 2 inches taller than you.
Okay, so I've asked ChatGPT again. How many men in the USA are over 6 feet and make over 6 figures? And of course, it estimated between 2 and 5% of men. And from those guys, you have to exclude guys that are married, guys that are gay. Maybe they don't want overweight men. They want a certain ethnicity. Now tell me, when a woman says, yeah, I only want to date a guy like that, and then they're surprised that those kinds of guys ghost them, sleep with them and then ghost them. Tell me, when they complain on TikTok, tell me they're not delusional. When they're all looking for that 1% of guys. They're delusional. But if I say it, I'm a misogynist, I'm an incel.
But the best man in the entire world. The most caring and protective and loving and generous man. A man who is not afraid to get down on one knee. A man who is not afraid to be a good daddy to some babies. A man who will help you in life. Not a man who is 6'4" and thinks that he is God's gift to fucking earth.
Yeah.
Because honestly, us on the internet have made them feel like they are special just because they're tall. Because straight up, girl, like that was me for a long time. I was like, no, he needs to look like this, he needs to be like that. And you want to know what? A lot of those guys have ego. Not that the short guys don't.
Yeah, but the problem is, ma'am, that you also dated those kinds of guys. You went for those kinds of guys, and those kinds of guys just slept with you. And now, maybe because you're older, those guys don't pay attention to you anymore. And you want to settle down with a guy that is 5'8". Guys, don't be a simp. Don't be the simp that she settles for.
What do you think the average guy makes in the United States? Like a household income for one person, single male. What do you think?
Average? Maybe probably like 80K.
Wow. What do you think?
400,000?
Average man
Oh,
is that like
average
400,000?
man.
We're talking about annual, right?
Yeah.
200,000?
Average men make 200,000. What do you think?
So delusional.
Girl.
I don't know.
I don't know. Realistically, with everything that just went on in the world, I don't know, maybe like 70,000. I know that sounds crazy, but
Did you see her face? Just let me rewind, guys. Okay, so look at the girl on the right. Can you see her expression when she heard 70,000? Just look at her face.
crazy, but average male, 70,000
Average male.
Okay.
before tax.
Wow, this whole time I was thinking like 60.
Interesting. Yeah, it's $37,000 a year.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, interesting. So 1% of men are over 6'3". The average, the median take-home pay is $37,000. For a household, it's $69,000 for a household. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Again, you guys are used to being, hey, I went to the club. The guy spent $15K bottleman, and he makes $4 million a year. Isn't that how most men are? No.
Dating in 2025 is cooked. The #1 app in America right now is the T-dating app. Maybe you're wondering, what's the T-dating app, Jack? Well, it's simply an app that women post about men that they've either been in relationships with, on dates with, in situationships with.
The T-dating app was hacked and everything was leaked online. And women are now going crazy. And I'm wondering why, ma'am. Because every guy that ghosted you, you exposed him with his phone number, picture, name, everything on there. But now if other people expose you for what you're saying and your chats and your pictures, you're going crazy. You did the same thing to men, ma'am.
And you can comment on them. You can put if they're a red flag or a green flag, phone number lookup, background checks. Do you see what we're up against? Do you see?
Now, I don't think that the app works anymore because the hackers got everything leaked, everything, even the chats, even everything. And there are sites popping up where you can vote on the women that use the app, on how they look, because they had to take a photo to show that they're women when they signed up for the app. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy.
Grandparents are like, why don't you get married? Do you see what we're up at? The chips are stacked against us. You could buy a house for $50 back in the day, go to college for $150, and you could just find someone down the street, little old Jolie, like, oh, let's get married. Now I have to battle the T app. This is a disaster of epic proportions. It should not be a thing. I don't know if we have to bring the men together, the powerful, but we got to shut this thing down.
It already happened, my guy. It already happened. That's the funny part.
Hey ladies, can we please talk about the double standards that we perpetuate? Never in my goddamn life did I think I'm gonna get on this app and defend men. But also, we need to talk about it. You know when you get like a really weird Instagram comment or a really weird DM, or you're walking down the street and an ugly man eye fucks you, or cat calls you, God forbid.
That's the first time I've heard in my life, I fucks you. Yep.
Sit with that uncomfortability for a second, and then consider why you feel so comfortable saying weird shit in men's comments. You see a glorious looking man. You see a very fine specimen of a gentleman. And your first instinct is to say, ugh, a tear just rolled down my leg.
Yes, I've seen posts like that on TikTok where women comment on a very good looking guy and they comment exactly, maybe worse than men.
My ride is here. Slow and raw and passionate. Excuse me, you do not know that man. You don't know these people. And I can guarantee, God forbid, a man say any of those things to us. Oh my God, I'm being harassed. Like,
yeah, she will report the comment to TikTok, of course.
what gave you the bravery to say that to somebody you don't know? Because that's gross. Just because he's a man does not mean that he wants to hear that. Does not mean that he wants to see that.
Yes, they want to hear that because it feeds their ego.
Now I realize why American guys come to the Philippines to find a wife. You guys won't even understand. The Filipino girls, I'm not gonna lie, are fucking hot. Besides these women being absolutely beautiful, the loyalty is absolutely crazy. Coming from America, all these women always say, and this is an American thing, happy wife, happy life. In the Philippines, it's happy relationship, happy relationship. When I was in America, honestly, I used to hate when girls always say, you need to make me happy. It's a happy wife, happy life. This has to change because
Yeah, it's all about them and what you can do for them in that relationship. It's never what they can do for you in that relationship.
in a relationship, I'm not saying everything's supposed to be 50-50, but at the end of the day, so you're trying to tell me I need to make a woman happy and I need to be miserable to have a happy relationship? That doesn't make sense. Out here, these girls honestly cater to their damn man when it comes to cooking for them, giving them massages, going over and above without asking for anything in return. That's how a relationship should be. And again, you guys can say whatever you want in the comments. There is a reason why that there's a thing called passport bros, and there's a reason why a lot of people are leaving America to go look for wives. It's a reason.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.